Hi, Steve. Thank you for coming in today. I just want to apologize in advance. I have a little bit of a cough, but just know it's not contagious. But yeah, I know in our last session we talked a little bit about, sorry, um, the challenges that you've been facing at home and also when you're out with families and friends, how you've experienced flashbacks after a specific event has occurred, and how it's difficult for you to share these experiences um, because other people can't relate to you or don't know what you're going through. Um, and so, yeah, since our last session, I wanted to do more research regarding post-traumatic stress disorder. Um, and in my research, I came across this neuroscience doctor who provided a lot of insightful information that I would like to share with you in this session. And her husband is a combat veteran who was in active duty in Vietnam. I'm sorry. And she talked about how PTSD is like a silent scream or like a hidden wound. And I know that in our previous sessions you've talked about how it feels like I'm sorry, like you want to scream, and how you want to be able to to move forward and to heal, but it's difficult for you to share all the experiences that you've had in being in active duty. And she talked about this one poem. I don't know if you heard of Humpty Dumpty and how he sat on the wall and then he fell down. But it was very insightful the way she described how, like one day you could be, watching a football game with your family or friends, and then something may trigger you, and in the next moment you just feel overwhelmed by sorry, by all the different emotions that you're experiencing, and you just and you may want to isolate, right? And so she talked about how with post-traumatic stress, it's like a normal response to the events that you've experienced, the abnormal events, and and your brain is affected by that, right? And so with the different parts of your brain, the information not be coming fast enough to you in different experiences, right? Or how you've experienced short-term memory loss in your brain is affected, and there is that short-term memory. And also with one part of the brain called the amygdala, it's like the traffic cop, that the doctor described how it sends fight or flight responses to your body. And I know you've described how you may have experienced like hypervigilance, and like your palms start sweating, and you just want to leave that particular situation, right? And how your sensories are overloaded and they may feel overwhelmed, and and all these different symptoms of PTSD, how she discussed how your brain I'm sorry, and your body start to wear out, right? And how you may be at higher risk of developing different conditions. And so I just wanted to explore some different things with you and collaborate with you as your therapist, and just know that this is a safe space for you to talk about the different experiences that you've had. And I know, like, your goal that we discussed in our first session was that you want to be able to heal and move forward. And some therapies that we may also explore is cognitive therapy and biofeedback. And, there's been evidence that has shown that those have proven to be effective for treating PTSD. And also some other things you can incorporate is exercise or massages or meditation. Sorry, that may help you with resetting your breathing, so that in those situations where you may be feeling overwhelmed, you may practice those breathing exercises to help you regulate your heart rate, for example. And so these were some things that I just wanted to share with you from my research. And, you know, in our next session, we can talk a little bit more about the interventions. And do you have any questions for me regarding like what I talked about? Okay. So I just want to thank you for coming to the session, and I will see you in our next session, Steve.